Hey there, welcome back to the Algebraic Fractions videos, this one with the examples. So as usual, we're getting these examples from our Cambridge textbooks. Our first example here is we are going to simplify by cancelling common factors, remembering that factors are the parts that make up a product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break my fraction into all the different factors. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to break each bit into all the different factors. So I have 8. All right. 8 can be its own factor for now. We will break the 8 down a little bit further on. And then a squared is a times a. And then b. That's going to be all over 2 times a. Now it doesn't matter what a or b have as a value. It really doesn't at this point. We're just playing around with the expressions. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel or reduce my common factors. So a common factor here are these a's. So let's cross them out. We don't need them anymore. Okay, they're reduced. Then we can do the 8 and the 2. The 8 is really 2 times 4, right? So what we can do is we can cross that out and make it a 4. And then we cross out that 2 and we get rid of that completely. So now we no longer have a denominator on this particular fraction. So this particular fraction has lost its denominator, so it now only has that 4 and the a and the b that are left. That's all that's left over for this fraction, and that's the simplified version. Let's have a look at the next one. So we're going back into a little bit more factorizing now. We're going to look at our highest common factor in our top bit. So let's not worry about the bottom for now. Let's leave it as is. We don't need to worry about that just yet. Here, the highest common factor is going to be 3. Highest common factor is 3 because on one side of that you have a 3, on the other side is a 9. 3 goes into both of them, but nothing above 3 will help us. So 3 is our highest common factor. So I'm going to pull that factor out. And what's left? Well, in front of that minus sign, I don't actually have anything left. So I'm going to put a 1 because it's one of them. Okay, I multiply 3 by 1. I'm going to get 3. Put in my minus sign. And then I'm going to divide 9x by 3, which is going to give me 3x. So there I have my factorized fraction. Put my little equal sign underneath. And you can see here we do have 2 factors. We have this factor and we have this factor. So that bracket is a factor on its own. We can reduce this now by crossing these out and we end up with just 1 minus 3x. That's all we've got left. Okay, and that's how we're doing that. So look at the next one. I'm going to do some pretty similar things here. Okay. So all we're going to do is we're going to see if we can, because it's a multiplication, we can do this. We're going to get rid of some common factors. Now the a plus 2 is a factor on its own. That's its own factor. So we can't do anything with that a or that 2. But this way we can. We can get rid of that 2 and that 4. Because how many 2's go into 4? 2 2's go into 4. Pretty straightforward there. Alright, so now we've got left just the a plus 2 at the bottom, or at the top rather, a plus 2, and then we have a times 2. Well, that's just going to give us a plus 2 over 2a. Okay, hopefully this is starting to sink in. On the other hand, we've got our division. We're going to do some very similar steps, but if you remember to the last video, we need to invert the second fraction. We need to invert this fraction, so turn it upside down. Okay, so the first one stays as is for now. We don't want to do anything to that one. The next one though, we're going to turn it upside down, so it's going to become 6, or rather I should take that equal sign out. We don't want an equal sign. We want a times sign, sorry about that. 6 over x minus 2. And then we follow the steps that we did for the multiplication. So we're going to factorize the first one. Okay, highest common factor is 2. So we're going to have 2 outside of x minus 2 all over 3. Now I've popped the x minus 2 there into some brackets very deliberately. So now we have some common factors. We have the bracket as the common factor. So that whole bracket of x minus 2 is a factor that is common. Okay. The bracket of x minus 2 is a common factor. Okay. Next thing that we have there is the 3 and the 6. There is common factors there. In fact, that should be a 1, and that is going to be a 2. So we have 2 over 1, which is just 2, times 2 over 1, which is just 2. So we have, get the right colour, 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's that one. Let's keep smashing these out. We're going to simplify these next ones. So now we've got a subtraction and we've got an addition. So we need to find a common factor. And in this case, well, it's a common multiple, to be fair. So find a common denominator. And we want to do that by the lowest common multiple. Now for this one, you can see the lowest common multiple will actually be 4, because 2 goes into 4 and 4 goes into 4. Okay, it is a multiple of 4, or a multiple of 2 even, but 4 is that lowest common multiple. So the first fraction isn't going to change, but what do we do to the 2 to get 4? Well, we doubled it. So what you need to do is do the same thing to the top. So I double the 2 at the bottom to get 4. And I need to double the a at the top to get the next bit. So that's going to be 2a. Then we just go across the top. I have 3 minus 2a all over 4. Now, unfortunately, we can't actually go any further with that one. That's as far as that one goes. But it is now one fraction, so that's what we want. Next up, we're going to do the same thing. Now, it's a little bit trickier to get a lowest common multiple. So I'm going to show you the cheap and nasty sort of smiley face trick where we multiply these guys together, and we're going to get 5a and 5a, and then we're going to multiply those guys together. Gets me 15. Multiply those guys together. Gets me to a. When I add across the top, that's what I get. Now it looks like I should be able to do some cancelling out. Problem is, the numerator over here is only one factor, not two. So because it's only one factor, I can't actually reduce anything. Okay, so that's as simple as it gets. Couple more, we've got 2 more to look at, and then we are going to be done with this video. Here we go. Simplify these expressions. So these ones are quite a bit trickier, and these are going to be in our sort of challenge questions in the exercise rather than the must questions. But we do exactly the same thing. We find a common multiple, and in this case it's going to be 10 because that is the lowest common multiple. So I'm going to pop those in, and then I'm going to cross multiply like I did before. It's just a little bit trickier. So it's still going to be these guys multiplied together. So we're going to have 2 outside of x minus 2 there, and then these guys are going to get multiplied together to give me 5 outside of x plus 3. So we're there at the moment, and then we add it all out across the top. All over 10. And then we just pull the brackets out, so we're going to expand our brackets. So we're going to have 5x plus 15 plus 2x minus 4 all over 10. Now we don't have any individual factors here because it's all addition and subtraction, not multiplication. Okay, so no factors. Because it's not a multiply. So you need to have a multiply for there to be factors. Pull it all together with like terms. And that's where we have it. So again, no common factors because we don't actually have any factors. Alrighty. Let's keep moving on. This is our last one for this video because we need to multiply the ones at the bottom together first. So we're going to have x minus 6 and x plus 2. Alright. That's where we're at. We're going to have that at the bottom of both. Alright, now we do the other bits the same exact way. Multiply this way, multiply that way. Alright, now our denominator isn't going to be able to be reduced at all, so it's going to be the same no matter what we do within this problem. So it will always be the two brackets. Okay. So now we put it all together. So it's all one nice big fraction. Expand our brackets at the top. Remembering all our basic skills and rules that we need to follow for this type of thing. Alright, so multiplying both numbers in the bracket by the number outside, remembering things like multiplying two negative numbers gets you a positive. And then last step, we're going to collect our like terms. So we've got 3x minus 2x, so that's just going to be x. And then we've got 6 and 12, adding it together to get 18. That's it. That's all of the examples done. Rewatch this video as much as you need to get the hang. Good luck with your questions, guys.